If you're similar to me, you like buying quality gear, even if it might cost a little bit more up front. Buy once, cry once. But when it comes to kitchen knives, if you're thinking about buying Yatoshi knives, I suggest you listen to this video where I'm going to be sharing with you my experience both with the knives and the company.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now waiting, better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything.
Hey everybody, this is Praxis. It looks like the future holds more global supply chain issues for us, so what I've been doing around my place is looking for anything that I think I might need to replace or purchase over the next several years, decades even, and I'm trying to do a lot of that purchasing now. One of those items that I wanted to get was a new knife set. The knife set that I'd had for many years was a relatively cheap knife set, and it was already starting to fall apart, so I thought this would be a good time to get yourself a kind of forever knife set. And in this video, what I want to review is Yatoshi knives. This is the knife set that I grabbed, and I've got some pretty big warnings that I need to share with you guys about these knives. First off, why did I choose these? I chose these because there were a lot of fairly decent reviews on them. They're a Chinese-made knife. Sometimes people will see that as sort of like a negative, but this particular company seemed like it was producing reasonably good quality materials. They're kind of attractive. The tang goes right through the handle here. It's got wooden handles on it, and they've got this kind of attractive Damascus steel pattern on them. One thing about the Damascus steel pattern is I was under no impression that I was actually getting Damascus steel blades when I was ordering these. I figured that there was just kind of a Damascus like I said, pattern that was applied to these things, because really I've never actually come across a knife that actually has real Damascus steel. If you know what Damascus steel is and what that means, you'll know the difference between something that just has a pattern on the side and something that actually uses real Damascus steel technology in order to keep itself sharp. The closest thing that I own to real Damascus steel is something, and again, it's not real Damascus steel at all, but it's a knife that I have that's made by Spyderco, and that has a real Damascus steel, folded steel pattern on the outsides and a core of nice hardened steel, but it's not Damascus steel, it just has a Damascus steel pattern. So I wasn't expecting anything different on these, and I was not disappointed in terms of what is going on these. What is going on in these is they do not have a real Damascus steel pattern. They are just laser etched with a pattern with laser etch marks, which kind of emulates kind of a Damascus steel pattern. Again, that's not a big deal. I wasn't expecting to get real Damascus steel technology out of these, but I did have a major issue with these knives, and I wanted to share it with you in this video. Overall, they feel good in the hands. They feel pretty solid. Cutting edge is nice and sharp. I have a lot of positive things to say about this knife. I bought a 13 knife set, and it came with a really nice knife block. I think it's really attractive. A lot of positive things to say about them, but one thing that was negative about at least this the set that I personally got, and I need two hands for this, is the durability of these knives. Just after a couple of weeks, I was doing some cutting with this knife here, and as I was going through, it felt like it got a little weaker, and I kind of heard a bit of like a stress noise, like a metal stressing noise, which got me a little bit concerned. And I looked at it, and it looked like it was starting to weaken, and the blade had bent a little bit off to the side. I cleared my hands away and then put it down into the cutting board and gave it a good push, and the thing snapped in half like that. Now, that's not necessarily a huge problem. I mean, for this knife, it's a huge problem. But maybe there was just a little defect in this particular knife. Maybe there was some kind of a weakness. Mistakes happen, things like that happen. Quality control things come up from time to time. That's not the end of the world. But what I want to warn you guys about is that when I contacted the company, Yatoshi, about this problem, I gave them a description of what had happened, how it was chopping, how exactly what I just told you guys. It finally broke through. I let them know that I hadn't injured myself, but I was somewhat fortunate that I hadn't injured myself. If I was pushing through really firmly and my hands was near this, when it snapped, who knows what might have happened, because these blades are very sharp. That's one of the positives of these Yatoshi knives. The steel is very hard, and it does hold a nice sharp edge. But the response that I got back from Yatoshi regarding the fact that just after a couple of weeks, this knife clearly failed, was nothing. The company just, as of the time of this recording, they still haven't gotten back to me at all. Now, the dealer that I bought these knives through has been great. You know, they compensated me for the whole thing. They have, really been great through the whole thing. But I didn't tell the manufacturer, the people that you're supposed to enforce your warranty, your long-term warranty through, because they had some sort of like lifetime guarantee or something like that. The people that you would be dependent on to, make things right if this happened, a year into owning them or 2 years into owning them, those people never even bothered to contact me back. So if you're thinking about getting Yatoshi knives, you can expect to get a knife that is made out of what seems like pretty good steel, unless it's not. You can expect to get a knife that has a pretty good edge, full tang right through the handle. They look nice, despite the fact that it's fake Damascus steel, just laser etched on there. They are attractive, but if you have any kind of a problem with these, at least in my experience, they're just not even going to contact you back. It's just kind of like, screw you, you're on your own, let the buyer beware. And that's why I'm letting you guys know, beware. If you get Yatoshi knives and something goes wrong, don't expect for the company who, all the verbiage when they're selling this stuff is all about like, we stand behind our product. And I forget exactly what the guarantee was. I know the guarantee was longer than a couple of weeks. And, even if that, not even lifting a finger to contact me back. So that's it. I want to share my experience with you. I don't actually have a recommendation on a good set of knives. I'm still in the market, kind of looking for that. But Yatoshi knives, buyer beware. Hey YouTube preppers, if you like this video about kitchen knives, then you're going to love this video about actual EDC and survival knives. In the video I go over all the basic knives that I use myself personally on the regular.